When I was 9 years old, my world shattered. My name is Emily Parker, and today I am 29 years old, working as a nurse in a small hospital. But before I tell you who I am now, let me take you back to the little girl I once was. I grew up in a tiny town in the Midwest. We didn't have much, but we had each other, my father, my mother, and me. My father was my hero. He was a mechanic, always coming home with grease on his hands, but a smile on his face. Every evening, he would lift me up in his arms and say, "Emily, one day, you'll do something great." But one morning, everything changed. My father left for work, and he never came back. A heart attack. Just like that, he was gone. I didn't even get to say goodbye. The funeral was a blur. I remember black clothes, tears, and people whispering things like, "How will they survive? She's so young, and her mother has no one." I was too young to fully understand, but I knew one thing. The man who made me feel safe was never coming back. Our home, once filled with laughter, became silent. My mother tried to be strong, but at night, I would hear her sobbing in the next room. I would press my face into the pillow, wishing I could bring my father back. The hardest part wasn't just missing him, it was what came after. Bills piled up. The fridge often sat empty. School lunches felt like luxuries we couldn't afford. I used to sit by the window waiting for my mother to come home from odd jobs, my stomach growling. There were days when dinner was nothing more than a piece of bread. The pain of hunger, the pain of loss, they became my childhood companions. My mother, Anna Parker, became both mother and father overnight. She was just 33, with no college degree, no savings, and no family support. Yet, she refused to give up. She started cleaning houses in our neighborhood. At dawn, she would pack a ragged old bag with cleaning supplies and leave before the sun came up. I would watch her from the window, her shoulders heavy, her steps slow, yet determined. At night, she would return with sore feet, cracked hands, and a tired smile. She would place a few crumpled dollar bills on the table and say, "Emily, today we have enough for milk." Sometimes she skipped her own meals just so I could eat. I noticed. I always noticed. I still remember one winter when my shoes had holes in them. My feet were freezing, but I didn't complain. Weeks later, on Christmas morning, she placed a second-hand pair of shoes beside my bed. They weren't new. They weren't perfect. But to me, they were everything. She had saved for weeks, skipping bus rides and walking miles, just so her little girl could feel warm. Every wrinkle on her face told a story of sacrifice. Every callus on her hands was proof of love. She carried pain silently, never letting me see the full weight she bore. But children notice things adults think they hide. I knew she was suffering. Yet, amidst the hardship, she taught me values. "Emily," she'd say, "we may be poor, but we are not broken. You must study, you must rise, because one day, you'll help others." Those words became my fuel. I studied harder than ever, even when my stomach growled, even when my eyes ached from candlelight. Poverty tried to break us, but my mother's courage held us together. Years passed, and slowly, life began to shift. I earned scholarships, thanks to my grades. My mother worked extra hours to buy me books. There were times I wanted to quit, but her voice always echoed in my heart. "We are not broken." When I turned 18, I entered nursing school. It wasn't easy. There were days I worked 2 part-time jobs, waiting tables, babysitting, just to afford supplies. But every time I felt like giving up, I remembered my mother's cracked hands. If she could sacrifice her entire youth for me, then I could fight for our future. I'll never forget the day I got my first paycheck as a nurse. It wasn't much, but it was honest. I came home, placed that envelope in her hands, and said, "Mama, this is for you." She cried, really cried for the first time in years. Not from pain this time, but from relief. Today, I work in a hospital. I care for people when they are at their weakest, because I know what weakness feels like. I hold the hands of strangers when they are scared, because I remember being that child, scared of the future. My pain turned into purpose. If my father could see me now, I'd tell him, "Papa, we survived. Your little girl made it." And to my mother, my hero, I'd say, Mama, every patient I care for, every life I touch, is because of you. Your sacrifice built me. Now, when I look back, I don't just see poverty and pain. I see resilience. I see a mother's love that refused to surrender. And I share this story not with sadness, but with gratitude. Because behind every smile, there is a sacrifice. Behind every success, there is someone who gave everything. And for me, that someone is my mother.